I'm Dave Cummins from Future Property Group, and welcome to the Future of Sustainable Development, the podcast where we explore the ideas shaping tomorrow's built environment. Today, we're exploring the importance of human-centered design. What is it, why it's important, and how can we embrace it? Human-centered design is a simple but revolutionary idea. Design spaces, systems, and buildings by starting with the people who use them. Not with profit margins, not with construction convenience, not with aesthetics alone, but with lived experience and the lived needs and well-being of human beings. It's about empathy first, solutions second. The Stanford School defined it as designing with deep understanding of the people you're designing for. The World Health Organization has linked human-centered design with better health outcomes. And in property, it means creating spaces you don't just house people, but uplift them. Historically, design hasn't always been human-centered. Industrial architecture from the 19th century focused on efficiency and output, often at the expense of human health. Workers in factories with poor light and ventilation suffered higher rates of respiratory illness and injury, as documented in the Lancet Journal. Even modern office blocks of the mid-20th century often prioritize maximizing floor space over daylight, clean air, and mental health. The shift began in the late 20th century as disciplines like ergonomics, occupational psychology, and biophilic design began to intersect with architecture. Human-centered design emerged as a formal framework in the 1990s and early 2000s. Pioneered by IDEO and later adopted widely in healthcare, education, and property. The benefits are profound. In healthcare, Science Journal reported that Roger Ehrlich's famous study showing patients with a view of nature recovered 8.5% faster and required less pain medication than those facing a brick wall. In workspaces, the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that employees with access to daylight and greenery recorded 15% higher cognitive performance and lower stress. The Harvard Chan School of Public Health reported that indoor air quality improvements boosted cognitive function by over 60% in some conditions. These aren't soft benefits, they're measurable improvements in health, performance, and productivity. Education offers another powerful lens. A study found that students in naturally lit classrooms progressed 20 to 26% faster in reading and maths. The University of Salford HEAD project covering over 3,500 students found that thoughtful classroom design, things like acoustic, air quality, and natural light, boosted learning outcomes by over 16%. That is human-centered design in action, simple environmental changes that helps transform lives. So why don't we embrace it more? Part of the problem is cost, at least the perception of cost. Developers often focus on upfront capital costs while ignoring real lifetime values. Yet research published in the Journal of Sustainable Real Estate showed that green certified human-centered design buildings rent for about 3% more and sell for about 16% more than conventional ones. CBRE confirmed occupancy rates in these buildings are consistently 3 to 6% higher. In other words, the market rewards putting people first, but still many chase short-term gains rather than long-term outcomes. There's also cultural inertia. For decades, the property industry has measured success in square meters delivered and dollars returned, not in human flourishing. And then there's the silos. Engineers, architects, and developers don't always speak the same language. Human-centered design requires collaboration across all disciplines, which could be uncomfortable in the sector that often works in isolation. But resistance is starting to crack. Around the world, examples of human-centered design are showing what's possible. In Australia, the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne is a standout. Its designs integrates light-filled spaces, views of greenery, play areas, and quiet zones. Research published in Health Environmental's Research and Design Journal has shown that children in well-designed hospitals recover faster and experience less stress. At Barangaroo in Sydney, office towers were designed with end-of-trip facilities, natural light, and wellness spaces. Features that boosted tenant satisfaction and retention. Globally, Singapore's Khoo Teck Phuket Hospital has become a benchmark. Designed as a healing garden, it integrates over 700 species of plants, natural ventilation, and views of water and greenery. Plants that suffer like reduced stress and high well-being, and operational data shows reduced energy use. In Denmark, the new Ansnes University Hospital incorporates human-centered design principles by embedding daylight in every patient room, and prioritizing intuitive wayfinding reduces anxiety for both patients and families. And in the Netherlands, the Edge building in Amsterdam, dubbed the world's greenest office, was designed around human experience, natural light, personalized climate controls, healthy materials, and shared social spaces. Employees reported high satisfaction and productivity, while the building achieved record sustainability ratings. So how do we embrace more of this? First, standardization we know works. Natural light, fresh air, acoustics, and green views, flexible spaces are all proven to improve outcomes. These shouldn't be extras, they should be non-negotiables in design briefs. Second, measured outcomes. Post-occupancy evaluations should track indoor air quality, energy use, absenteeism, productivity, and well-being. The Journal of Environmental Psychology has already shown that direct links between environment and human performance. If we collect and share this data widely, the case becomes undeniable. Third, align finances with outcomes. Green loans, sustainability-linked finance, and government initiatives can make human-centered design the default choice. Fourth, we must change the narrative. For too long, progress has been equated with glass and steel. But true progress is measured in healthier children, more creative workers, and communities that thrive. What would happen if we build more human-centered developments? We would see hospitals where patients recover faster and require fewer drugs. We would see schools where children learn more quickly, concentrate harder and longer, and achieve higher results. We would see offices where employees are healthier, more engaged, and more productive. We would also see property portfolios that are more valuable and resilient and more attractive to investors. And we would see communities designed not just to house people, but to help them flourish. The take-home message is this. Human-centered design is not a luxury. It is not a trend. It is the foundation of the built environment that truly serves people. It aligns human well-being and ecological restoration and economic value. It proves that when we build people first, everything else, productivity, profitability, sustainability follows. When we design for humans, we build more than buildings. We build trust, resilience, creativity, and health. We build futures where doing the right thing for people is also the smart thing for business. And in a world facing climate change, health crises, and social fragmentation, human-centered design is not just nice to have, it is essential. Thanks for tuning in to the future of sustainable development. Join us next time as we uncover fresh research, new innovations, and best practices for building smarter, greener, and more resilient buildings. Until then, let's continue to build places that heal the land and empower communities for tomorrow.